The Dallas Mavericks have lost to the Boston Celtics in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, 105-98, in a fashion that is just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's not our brand of basketball, even though we made a lot of good changes. We did do things better in Game 2 than in Game 1. I mean, obviously, we scored more points. They scored less points. The defense was a little bit better. The offense, for the most part, was good. But there's a lot of glaring issues that needs to be addressed if we are to continue in the series, to even make it a series. If we want to see Games 5, 6, or 7, the Dallas Mavericks have to make these changes. Certain players need to step up, and we got to clean up this mess that we made before we go back home on Wednesday for Game 3. And in this video, we're going to break down some quotes from Luka Doncic, as well as we do have an injury update that we found out right before the game, and see how this may play out for the rest of the series. How's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we start with this video, if you guys could just drop a like on this video, I'd appreciate it greatly. If we get to 300 likes, that would make my day. But like I said, Game 2 is in the books, and we are down 0-2 in this series to the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. We lost 105-98. We did do better for the most part. We were in the lead for the majority of the game. Not the majority, for at least the first quarter. We did beat them in the first quarter. We were up. It was good. For the most of the second quarter, we kept it close. They took the lead over. I think we went into halftime only down by about 8 or 9 points. Winnable. We can still win this. Like, we're still in this. It's still fine. However, we made no dent in that lead in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, we only broke it down by 1 point. So we really, or I'm sorry, about 2 points. We really weren't able to get out of that little drought that we built in the second quarter leading to halftime. The things that look good. The Mavericks played better defense. There were less free throws, at least for the most part, less fouls, less dumb fouls. We played better defense. The turnovers were still a problem. The role players, for the most part, stepped up. Not our bench. Our bench was still kind of nowhere to be seen. But PJ Washington had a great game. To my standards, to my beliefs, from what I've seen, PJ Washington had a much better game this game. He was being very just aggressive, attacking the basket, getting to the line. When Kyrie Irving, who we're going to talk about a lot in this video, when Kyrie just couldn't really help contribute to Luka, as Luka had a 32-point triple-double, PJ was like, cool, just give me the ball. I'm going to attack the basket. I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to make it happen. And he definitely tried, as he had the second most points on the team. Luka Doncic had a weird injury reported at the beginning of this. Something with his spinal contusion, thoracic. I'm not a doctor, but it's something to do with his ribs and his back. And he was downgraded from questionable to probable. Or probable to questionable, whichever one it is. But anyway, we know that Luka Doncic has been injured for all of the playoffs. Really, not even the majority, for all of the playoffs. Luka Doncic has been hurt. So when I got the news, I didn't think much of it. It's like, he's going to play. And he did play. However, it does look like he did suffer some kind of injury. Like I said, it's something with his ribs and his vertebrae. And even though he now has another injury on the list of all the things wrong with Luka Doncic, he still had a 32-point performance with 11 rebounds, and he actually had 11 assists. So if we want to talk about the good things, right there, 11 assists. Guys are making their shots. Luka only had 1 assist in Game 1, and now he had 11. That's a plus. Daniel Gafford was actually being able to get buckets at the rim. That's a plus. And down the stretch, he was being very tenacious. He was getting boards, contesting shots. That was huge. We had PJ Washington, like I said earlier, he was attacking the basket. He was getting to the line. That was big. Even Josh Green, who was able to do a little bit of hustle plays here and there, looked good. Derrick Jones Jr. eventually got things going. Maxey was missing his threes. I think he was wide open at least 2-3 times, missed all of his shots. Derrick Lively is still trying to figure out how to play in the finals and how to play against this team. I thought Derrick Lively would be just eating the paint, but not necessarily. Some things look good. Some things look bad. But one thing that I think was just horrible was that we let Jrue Holiday just go off. Jrue Holiday was just dominating this game. He had like 11 rebounds, 20-plus points, and I was like, who's guarding this man? Who's supposed to guard Jrue Holiday? Why is he out-rebounding literally every other player on the floor? It makes no sense to me. I think that, along with turnovers, missed free throws, and just not being able to win on the boards, all accumulated to this loss that very much well could have been a win. But let's go and look at the box score, right? If you look right here, PJ Washington had 17 points, 1 block, 1 assist, 7 rebounds. He was 1 of 5 from 3, but he was doing his thing. He was a +2, played very good defense. Derrick Jones Jr. had 11 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. Daniel Gafford had 13 points, 1 block, and 9 rebounds. Kyrie had 16 points, 2 turnovers, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. He was 0 of 3 from 3. He was 7 of 18 from the floor. I would accept this if this was Derrick Jones Jr.'s stat line. Okay, cool. Derrick Jones Jr. stepped up, but you're Kyrie Irving. You're Uncle Drew, fourth quarter Kai. I didn't see none of that in this game. A lot of what I saw was forced shots, bad plays. Now, I'll give Kyrie some credit because the Boston Celtics were playing very scrappy defense. They were hacking at him left and right, and there were a lot of no calls. There was also a no call on PJ Washington down the stretch where he had a breakaway dunk where he was pushed in the back by Jaylen Brown, and then Derrick White hit him on his hand. All of it was a no call. But regardless, Kyrie Irving definitely did not have a great game. Very similar to his game one performance where he just wasn't helping Luka. While if we look at Luka's stat line, 32 points, 4 steals, 11 assists, 4 steals. Let's talk about the 4 steals. Playing defense with all these injuries just tackled up on Luka Doncic. He's still playing defense. He had 11 assists, 11 rebounds. He was 4 of 9 from 3, but he was also 4 of 8 from the free throw line, missing 4 free throws, which could have made this a closer game. He also had 8 turnovers. 8 turnovers. We got to clean that up. The turnovers, the free throws, and just hitting our shots, all of that needs to be fixed going to game 3. And like I said, look at the bench. Maxey gave you nothing but 2 rebounds. Derrick Lively had 2 points, 2 turnovers, and 7 rebounds. Josh Green had 4 points, 1 rebound. Dante Exum had 1 3, hit 1 3. I'm fine with it. He had 1 turnover, but 1 assist and 1 rebound. And Jaden Hardy got in there for about 2 minutes, wasn't able to really do much. But the Dallas Mavericks were very close. I mean, there are good things to talk about. This isn't going to be a negative video where I'm slandering the guys. It's just when you have a game where you definitely could have won, it hurts when things like this happen, like what we saw tonight where we got it down to about 7 points late in the fourth. We could have run away, got the lead, maybe go to overtime, maybe win the thing, but it just wasn't enough. There were a lot of bonehead plays down the stretch, a lot of rushed offense, a lot of sloppy defense, and as being statistically the most clutch team in the NBA, I didn't see it tonight. And if we look at the Boston Celtics right here, their box score, let's just take a look at this real quick. Jason Tatum had, 18 points, 1 steal, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. Al Horford had 5 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, and 7 rebounds. Drew Holiday, 26 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 3 assists, 11 rebounds. 11 rebounds for Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's like my height, and he's getting 11 rebounds, most in the game. Unacceptable. I don't know who's guarding him. I don't know if that's Kyrie or Derrick Jones Jr., PJ. I don't know who's supposed to be on Drew Holiday, but he was just sneakily running around, able to be wherever the rebound was, getting all the backdoor layups to go in, and we just didn't have an answer for him, and that's very odd to me. He was also 2 of 4 from 3, 11 of 14 from the floor. Derrick White had 18 points, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds, and Jaylen Brown had 21 points. He did have 6 turnovers, but he had 3 steals, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. He was 1 of 5 from 3. Both teams didn't shoot the 3 ball that well, which you live with it. That's fine. Sam Hauser off the bench gave you 2 points. Porzingis, we did better this game. He only had 12 points. And then Pritchard gave you 3. It was like a last-minute 3 at the end of the third quarter, which felt like the nail in the coffin, but it really wasn't. But another thing that we're going to look at right here, I mentioned Luka Doncic's injury. Just to break it down, Doncic, the term thoracic, I think I'm pronouncing that right. The term thoracic refers to the thorax of the body and is most often associated with the middle segment of the spine where the ribs attach to the thoracic vertebrae. Luke appears to be favoring his ribs more than his back, and this likely comes down to managing his associated symptoms, particularly pain. So, for a lot of people that were confused about the reports about Luka's injury, even though he still played, this is what he's dealing with. So we talk about the right knee sprain, the ankle soreness, the back. All of this is adding up. Luka Doncic is hobbled out there. He's running around on one leg, one rib, half an ankle, right? So to clarify, this is what Luka Doncic is dealing with, and he also mentioned in his press conference that he thinks he got it from a charge in game 1 from Jaylen Brown, and he didn't feel any pain till the next day. Hopefully, in the next few days, because we don't play again until Wednesday, he can kind of get it together. He feels better because even with all these injuries, Luka still had a decent game. The 8 turnovers I'm not loving. However, 32-point triple-double, I'm fine with that. I need other people to step up because if Luka's doing this while injured in his first playoffs, there's no excuse for anyone else to not be able to contribute in some fashion to help us win games. But another thing, Luka Doncic, at the end of the game in his press conference saying, I think my turnovers and my missed free throws cost us the game. At the end of the day, we have to make shots. And that's what a leader does. A leader takes accountability. Even though I don't think he's the problem. Sure, the turnovers, I'll agree. The turnovers were a little bit egregious. But for the most part, Luka Doncic was doing everything to keep us in this game. And even then, he still will shoulder the blame. Because he understands you win as a team and you lose as a team. And there's no real point in pointing blame. Even though Kyrie Irving definitely needs to step up and act like that co-star for Luka Doncic. Don't let these 30-point triple-doubles go to waste. We got to get the win. The stat line looks great, but a win looks even better, especially when you're in the playoffs, and Kyrie knows that. But shout out to Luka Doncic for taking accountability. And like I said, at the end of the day, we have to make shots. And going into game 3 on Wednesday, we just got to make our shots. And I believe that we'll be fine. The role players definitely play better at home, but we'll see. And the last thing right here, Kyrie Irving's last 2 games. First game, 12 points. He was 6 of 19 from the floor, 0 of 5 from 3. Game 2, 16 points. He was 7 of 18 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3. He is 0 of 8 from 3 in this series. It's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. I'll take at least 2 of 8. I'll take 2 of 8 from 3. That can at least change things. Maybe push the game a little bit closer, but hopefully Kyrie figures it out. Hopefully these 2 games at home is exactly what Kyrie needs to just get in that rhythm, feel it a little bit better. Playing in Boston has to be psyching him out, has to put him in a headspace that isn't really helping him contribute to winning in any of these games. But before we finish, we got to go into our segment. We got to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the good, I'll have to give it to Luka Doncic. He had a great game, minus the turnovers and the missed free throws, of course. So shout out to Luka Doncic. He had a good game. Aside from all those injuries, aside from any other thing that is working against Luka Doncic, he still had the good game. The good goes to Luka. The bad, I'm going to have to give it to the referees. The referees there was a lot of no calls. There was a weird shove from Jaylen Brown towards the end on PJ that didn't get called. And then Derrick White slapped PJ's hand, didn't get called. The refs, for the most part, and we all know how Tony Brothers is, for the most part, it wasn't that bad. But in crucial moments, it felt like the refs were just turning a blind eye. And for that, you get the bad. The ugly, I hate to do this, but Kyrie, I expect more from Kyrie. I've seen Kyrie pop off and just have great performances, and I haven't seen it all series. We're about to go into game 3, and I hope he can find it. But tonight, mainly just for the series, the ugly goes to Kyrie. However, I do expect him to bounce back from this, have a better game in game 3. I hope so. We can be upset about the results. We can be angry, but at the end of the day, we have to believe and hope that these guys can do what they need to do to bounce back. I think Jason Kidd is doing a great job as a coach. I don't think there's much from him that I'm upset about. He trusted Dante. Dante did help us out a little bit. We didn't see Tim Hardaway. We saw a little bit of Maxey, a little bit of Hardy. So the rotations are there. The timeouts are timely. I'm not upset with that. But the whole team needs to get together in the next few days because game 3 on Wednesday is going to be a must-win game. I feel like every game is a must-win game, but I'm going to say right here, Wednesday is a must-win game. No excuses. We got to get it done. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far into the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing some merch giveaway. The winners will be announced in the beginning of July. But until next time, y'all take care. Remember, drink water.